So yesterday I made a video that's blowing up throughout the Terraria community because I said Steve would destroy Terraria guy. And in under a day, it already has 859 comments and everybody's arguing, so we're just gonna go in there to debunk people. This comment basically sums up what everybody's been saying in the comments, saying you have to take into account world height. Steve is unable to one-hit Terrarian, and also Terrarian can just move out the way. I hate how people think it's still 2010 like Steve can't fly. People were in the comments saying he needs prep time and he needs to build up. No, he doesn't. He can literally go down and go straight to you and one-shot you like he can do to the Ender Dragon. Then you go in and say, Steve's seeing what we see, so Terrarian would see Steve as a side of his skin. What do you think this is, Super Smash Bros? We see what Steve sees because we're also three-dimensional. The Terraria guy is a 2D character. He cannot see off the X and Y axis. He can only see left, right, up, down, so Steve can sit at an angle and never be touched by him. To put it in simpler terms, because the Terraria guy sits on a plane of existence that is 2D, and Steve is a 3-dimensional character, unless Steve becomes 2-dimensional, Terraria guy cannot interact with Steve because Steve can sit at an angle from him off the X and Y axis and be untouched. To put it in even simpler terms, imagine looking forward the whole time, but you can't see what's hitting you from an angle. To make it even worse, let's say Steve was wearing diamond armor and he was standing next to a diamond armor set. This is how he would look to the Terraria guy. Blurry as heck and just a straight line. Let's say Steve and Terraria guy were both looking at each other, facing the same way. All Steve has to do is move slightly to the left or right at an angle, and he would be completely unperceivable by the Terraria guy. So next, let's talk about the Zenith Sword. I said there's no weapon in Terraria that does over 50,000 damage in one hit. And of course the fake Terraria fans showed the Zenith Sword. And in under a second with the maxed melee speed, it can only do 27,061 damage, and that's not even one swing. Imagine a 2D character coming towards you, swinging their sword in just a straight line. And all you have to do as a 3-dimensional character is move slightly to the side for them never to be able to interact with you at all. Including their weapons, abilities, aura, it doesn't matter. That's all 2D as well. So why is it so hard to understand? Because Terraria guy is on a lower plane of existence than Steve, he can never interact with him. Unless Steve wanted to interact with him. Here's another comment. Again, a guy saying that Steve needs a whole setup. Steve doesn't need to build up. He can literally use a Riptide Spear and an Elytra and fly towards him and one-shot him. Are we playing Minecraft anymore? Then here's an interesting comment where the guy says the character you play as in Terraria is called the Terrarian. So this guy replies saying he knows, LOL. He said it before. He just wants to glaze Steve right now. You do understand, by your logic, because I didn't call the Terraria guy a Terrarian, Minecraft's Steve versus the Terraria guy. I would not be glazing Steve either because I didn't even call him a Minecraftian, I called him Steve. Also, on the literal official Terraria website, he is literally called by your community the Terraria guy. The lack of common sense is crazy in the Terrarian community. Like, Steve would have trouble hitting Terrarian as Terrarian is 2D. Terrarian has more movement options and that they are only beaten by Steve's Elytra, which takes up chestplate slot. It is only fast going up or forwards. More movement options than this? The Brooklyn guy must be your eye doctor. Ain't no way. Terraria fans need to be studied because in the video I already said that he is a 3D character while the Terraria guy is 2D, which means by default Steve has a better movement advantage. It's not rocket science, and it doesn't even take a high school diploma to understand that a 3D character typically has more freedom of movement and interaction with their environment compared to a 2D character. Like, just think about it for a sec. Because Steve is 3D, he's able to attack from multiple angles, utilize vertical space, and has a broader range of movement options compared to a 2D character. In all honesty, if Steve didn't have his advantage of dimensionality, you know, it would be a crazy fight between the Terrarian. Steve may lose, but if I'm betting on anybody in a fight, I'm betting on Steve. Are you picking the character that can only look in the direction of X, Y, or the character that can be X, Y, and Z? It don't matter how long it will take, Steve can sit at an angle and win the fight easily. I don't want to ever see anybody put this man against Superman, Sonic, Goku, or anybody else 3D again. He's not a god. He's a literal piece of paper. Steve Solos! Terraria is canonically 3D. Wow, I did not know that. Let me go check it real quick. Alright, so I'm on the official Terraria wiki. Alright, saying that Terraria was made by REUPLOAD. Okay. Made on May 16, 2011. Okay. But since has expanded to several platforms, this game is a 2D action adventure open world sandbox platformer in which the player controls a... I'm going to the official fan pages and people are saying I'm biased. I'm just reiterating what the fans are saying and I'm biased. That's crazy. But on a serious note, at the end of the day, I gave my opinion on who I think would win between Steve and Terraria guy. And I just found out like the Terraria community is just a horrible community. It's just very toxic. Like people were talking about my looks, my eyes, eyebrows, and everything over me just saying Steve would win, in my opinion. Like anytime I make these type of debating videos or controversial videos, the fandom is never on the same page as each other. Everybody's always saying something different until I pull up the official wiki. Everybody's always saying I'm biased. Everybody's saying I'm this, and that. I'm trying to be the most common sense, logical being I can in this situation. And the fact that people come at me for my looks, saying that Minecraft sucks, it's Terraria's better, as if I care which one's better and which one's not. I mean, to be honest, you could say Terraria's better all you want. You could say the developers are better too. If that was the case, if it was a better game, had better developers, why isn't it bigger than Minecraft? I beg the question. I beg it. Why is it not bigger than Minecraft? It's not bigger than Minecraft because what? Because Xbox bought Minecraft? Bro, newsflash, Minecraft was still bigger than Terraria before that. When Terraria dropped, it was being massively compared to Minecraft. It's to the point where on the official wiki, it literally says it has a lot of similarities to Minecraft. I just don't get where all this hate is coming from at all. It's just one video where I said, I think Steve wins. Like scaling wise, I'm picking Steve. He has the biggest advantage in this fight. It's just that simple. But yeah, after today, I'm not gonna be talking about Terraria that much. There's clearly a reason why it's not as big as it should be. Like it's not as big as Minecraft, Roblox, and Fortnite. It's not that big as it should be. It has to be the community. It literally has to be, because if the developers are so good, like they're saying, and if the game is so good, I personally think the game is good, by the way, but it has to be the community. It literally has to. If you're ever arguing with someone about Terraria, just say Peppa Pig level. Just say Peppa Pig level. Get past Peppa Pig, then talk. You know what the crazy part is? I have 40 hours on just Xbox alone, but I have 50 less hours on Terraria than I do Minecraft. Minecraft, I have hundreds of hours. Hundreds, okay? I have multiple worlds that I can gloat into. The house isn't crazy, but the chests are freaking packed. Most of my hours are on mobile, and I've beaten the game multiple times. Peace.